Before we take a single step, let's put a flag here. Global warming treads into the toxic war zone of politics, so whether or not you think we have a few decades left before our civilization's annihilation or think it will never happen, let's enter into the universe where it's imminent, whether you think that's reality or it requires you to enter a fictional version of Earth. Unfortunately, even the act of trying to barter a truce of neutrality will anger people utterly certain of their beliefs that they would condemn anyone who holds any position short of complete agreement and compliance with their ideas. Human intelligence is one of the most unique things in the universe that we've been able to witness so far, but since we're still classified as a species of animal and behaved in such a manner less than 1,000,000 years ago, it is required of us to understand the limitations of our curiosity and reasoning. You should always be willing and actively trying to prove your own beliefs wrong, especially ones you're super duper certain of, because people are wrong all the time. But understanding that you can be wrong and desiring to prove that can bring you closer and closer to the actual truth. And that level of unwavering certainty over the things you believe unquestionably produces the social turmoil that has engulfed and degraded our society into this passive-aggressive form of 21st century social media warfare. But questioning your own base assumptions about reality embraces humility and the concept of self-improvement, openness, and willingness to expand your knowledge and understanding of the world. We're veering off the beaten path a little here, but hopefully you understand what I'm getting at. So a lot of people have deemed this project impossible based on a misunderstanding. We can't complete the Earth because global human society expands faster than we could ever build it in Minecraft, in addition to the constant renovation and transformation of already built areas. To avoid this problem, Build the Earth intends to be eventually historical. We will build areas as they are at the moment that we build them, whether that's 2022, 2027, or 2948. Of course, if anyone wants to update an area, they can do so if they please, though we might eventually cut this option off, since if someone wants to remake a single city block in New York in the year 3299, it might look a little different than the 2020 to 2030 version of New York we're building that stands today. Eventually, the Earth in Minecraft will stand not as a contemporary achievement of the present state of our world, but as a historical document detailing a state of human history long gone and past. Could be useful for a far advanced human society 1,000 years from now, for aliens, or for a human society several thousand years from now similar to ours because ours was destroyed by some sort of apocalypse, which is where we have a problem. With global warming imminent, it could change our world in ways that would render our current Earth in Minecraft completely unrecognizable. The most obvious being the ocean levels. NASA, who could be totally full of shit, I don't know, are estimating that the sea level will rise by 1 to 8 feet by 2100. That's such a broad range. At first glance, it sounds like they're preparing to be either wrong or right about whether it's going to be a huge change or a little change. But a whole foot in a century is still actually significant. Since last century, it only rose by 8 inches. But let's go with the nuclear doomsday range. 8 feet would put half of every single beachside property underwater. This guy's With coastal cities, it's going to be interesting to see. We're talking about a really slow rise, nothing like this. I mean, well, maybe. But with the slow rise, it will give these cities time to build a wall around their civilization instead of just letting water levels invade it. So in the far future, we could see coastal cities protected by giant, epic, futuristic Great Wall of China-style monoliths. Sort of a return to the walled-style city that we had in ancient and medieval times, but for very different reasons. And in our project, we would have a choice. Do we want to rebuild the coast with a risen sea level and a wall, or keep it the way that it was? I vote keep it. Seattle in 2300 AD would be a different Minecraft project, I think. And we've already run into this problem when we built Rujali for our last Hometowns episode. We built these giant, awesome coal power plant smokestacks only to learn that they were destroyed in an epic, controlled demolition. So we're gonna keep them because they're cool. But you know what's not cool? What's happening to the Hoover Dam. Remember the Hoover Dam? We built Las Vegas in Minecraft, going in depth as to the creation of the Hoover Dam, making an extraordinary amount of electricity for Las Vegas at that point in American history. Well, the water behind the Hoover Dam keeps getting lower and lower. Instead of electricity, the dam provides water to the various dry cities in the area that need it, including Las Vegas. Local government assures that they have extra reserves in Lake Powell to ensure that the dam continues to operate as usual. But for how long? If water was no longer supplied to the dam, in 100 years, Las Vegas could become the world's largest ghost town, the largest and most modern city ever abandoned en masse, with huge city infrastructure and all the unique tourist attractions slowly breaking down to the erosion of weather, a haunting figment of a happier past, a major casualty in the current global crisis. What happens in Vegas wouldn't. Nothing would stay in Vegas anymore because nothing would happen in Vegas in the first place. But Vegas in the 1-to-1 scale Earth would remain. It's not as lively as the current real-life counterpart, as it has no people, no cars, and no vibrant Las Vegas economy. It's a frozen artifact of Vegas, pristine and stopped in time. Not as jubilant, but something. Other cities similarly screwed are Phoenix, Arizona, which already have 20 to 30, 110-degree days a year. At a certain point, it's gonna just get too hot for a population to exist there, really. San Diego is likely to lose Coronado Island, which would likely cause the Navy to relocate 100,000 personnel, ripping the backbone out of the city and transforming it completely. If we were to build or modify all of these cities in the future to fit whatever happens to them, it would be an interesting modification process. In order to make the buildings affected by the erosion of weather, massive amounts of graffiti, completely broken down walls, and all other characteristics emblematic of smaller ghost towns around the world, massive, broad, and efficient changes with world edit would almost be completely avoided, having to detail features and materials half digested by nature completely by hand. It almost might be worth going there yourself to document exactly what process nature, looters, and vandals have exacted on the area. The process of ordered structures such as towns and cities being reclaimed by nature is one of my favorite things ever. Doing them justice would be a work of art in my eyes. The Earth is going to change in ways that we can't even imagine, whether human beings are involved or not. It's estimated that the entire Sahara Desert might become tropical sometime in the next 10 to 20,000 years. But with the growing power of humanity, whether or not our current meager attempts at civilization are affecting the globe in a significant way, it definitely will in the future. For example, if we were to create a gigantic energy farm by filling the Sahara Desert with solar panels, the continental level changes in solar and heat redirection would bring rain to the Sahara, which at first glance sounds good, but wind takes Sahara Desert grains to fertilize South America. In absence of that, there's no telling what sort of doomsday global weather catastrophe we'd be setting up. It's been theorized that the reason we don't see any solar system or galaxy-wide advanced civilizations with the piece of universal pie that we can observe so far is that certain inevitable filtering systems clear out almost all potential candidates throughout the cosmos. Several times throughout the Cold War, both the United States and the USSR got so close to nuclear war that all safeties were unlocked, fully prepared, all down to a single decision. One button away from global extinction. Multiple times in the previous century. So it's likely the reason we don't see Star Wars in any of the galaxies of our universe so far is because near this point in civilizational development, the culture ends up destroying itself with its own creations, operates in a manner that's sustainable for the environment, is unable to stop and therefore destroys itself, or creates artificial intelligence, which designates its creators as a significant threat to itself and the planet for the aforementioned reasons. It can be debated how significantly human activity is contributing to the warming of the planet, but sometime soon we will have more power than the planet's weather systems and we'll have to be very careful about how we use it. The inevitable apocalypse of intelligent civilizations misusing their own creations could be an inevitable outcome, and our civilization could go the way of Egypt and the Roman Empire, but in my mind, that just makes documenting the Earth as it is today likely the farthest human civilization has ever managed to reach technologically at any point in our history. In Minecraft, more important than ever. Something for future nomad kids of the Bronze Age tribes or future alien babies when discovering Earth and examining its evidence to admire. An accomplishment that's worthy of remembrance. A finished map with infinite exploration capability, enduring across time, allowing the actions that we take now to impact the lives of those long after our time in this amazing universe full of fascinating possibilities. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. A huge thanks to our top tier patrons: Megan Leckie, Almighty Svet, Walker Army, Bibbin Randall, Ekalise, Ji Yang, Pixie Gum, Cocopingus98, and The Demon Slayer. You guys are the reason I get up every morning. And if the world were to end tomorrow, I'd feel honored to share that with you.